This is the oracle reading for the Sagittarius new moon that happened on the 1st of December 2024. These cards I always pull before doing any transit, and they got pulled before the transit itself because that's already happened. But all that energy has been going through the collective reading, the all 12 signs, and it's here. And I'm going to read all of these cards for the overall message that wants to come through with that new moon. Now, I work with 6-month cycles, so what's coming through in this reading is going to serve you over the next 6 months to the Sagittarius full moon next year. I'm going to sum up some of the key astrology at the beginning, and then we're going to go through these cards, and obviously channeled messages are going to come through. There's going to be lots of lovely stuff. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and as you heard and as you saw with my hand movements, I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body, and this brings in healing, attunement, and activation codes with the vocal light language and the physical light language to the messages that are coming through with this reading. I firstly just want to very quickly, I felt called to sort of cut the deck, my tarot deck, a couple of times. And oh my God, you wouldn't believe the cards that came up, which is wild. We have Saturn, which was square the moon, and Jupiter. We have Gemini, where Jupiter was the ruler of the moon with the lovers. And then we have the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius with the Ace of Cups. I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. I just wanted to just let you that I did it just before I started this reading, and I was like, you know when you just like all these like that clarity of communication with source, with the energy. It just every time it blows my mind, even though it happens so often. But that was like on the money, so on point. And I'm here for it, and it's part of what we're going through at the moment. Regulars, I've been banging on about how we've been doing a lot of work in order to recalibrate our vessel to the acknowledgement and the embodiment of the magical reality, which is that source is abundant. There are miracles for everybody. There is co-creation at the most integrated frequency for everybody. But you do got to put in the work. You do got to put in the work. And the astrology at the moment is so leading us to this massive setup for the collective of really being able to integrate more in our consciousness, right? Allowing more pathways, new neural networks. And that's a lot of what Jupiter over in Gemini is doing, to make the synapses connect to each other. That's going to allow a lot of things that have been blocked from us to be more easily accessible. So this moon, what is it in a nutshell? Well, the courage to walk your own path, to roam in your own way, right? And that independence of fire. There was a grand fire trine between the sun and the moon in Sagittarius, Mars over in Leo, and the North Node in Aries. And so this was a real sense of a realignment to our intuitive body, right? The moon, from the vision of our conscious space, right? This intention to be able to be independent through our heart, Mars over in Leo, and striving into new territory, right? The I am of Aries, that sort of autonomous, wanting to go out and explore for its own experience. And then that Sagittarius energy, the mutable fire sign of being able to adapt and change and weave your way through life, and knowing that all the moments that you encounter are part of the bigger picture. But the key theme that came through in the collective reading was our capacity to roam in our own way, right? Rather than what the collective wants, what society wants, any sort of layers of shame around how you're showing up in the world, right? That actually is an illusion. This moon is helping reorientate to the truth that we are all here to walk our own paths, and everyone has a different way of doing it. Well, that was pretty powerful. That was pretty, I like that. And so what I loved about this moon is it was a grand fire trine, and that followed months and months and months of grand water trines. Actually, it wasn't that long. It was the end of the summer till recently, where we had lots of grand water trines. Trines bring things together in order to elevate and expand and bring deeper wisdom, a deeper confidence with that knowing that wisdom can bring, that then leads to an ease of spirit, right? The abundance of spirit, the generosity of spirit, which is the Jupiter energy that rules the trine. And that's where luck and opportunities can sort of have a stronger resonance, because you're more integrated and expansive, which is what Jupiter's main aim is, this sense of the bigger picture. All right, so we had that with our emotional body, with the memory in our water being realigned to be in a flow state, and our intuition to be heightened to connect us to this magical reality that is here. We are just peeling back the dense layers, peeling back the fog. Itiala di shanama doetala, itatini ma otofala. Oh, there's that Mars energy coming out. Itoela dishatuma dinia. Oh, love it. Can't wait to do the Mars retrograde series. Right, I'll get to that in a second. And then we had the Taurus full moon. And that was, for me, the biggest moon to date this year. It was conjunct Uranus and a fixed star called Algol. I still recommend the collective reading for that, because that was insane. Essentially a nervous system reset, right? A release of limiting beliefs that have stopped our personal physical connection to the earth, our physical vessel, Taurus, from believing, from feeling that they're in a land of abundance, a land of creativity and all of that good stuff, right? So we had that nervous reset in our body. Our body's a bit more comfortable about creating in the 3D. Our emotional body isn't holding on to certain pains in the same way. And then we got the grand fire trine with this new moon that followed directly. Fire is your instinct, right? It's not the thought process. It's not the emotional response. It's not the sensation in your body. It's just the thing that is happening, the go. So now with this new moon, with all the work that we've been doing, we are recalibrating our instincts to be in alignment with that work, to be in alignment with where we're evolving into the paths. New pathways are opening up for us to go down. Right, I'm trying to keep this short. So what else about this moon? Lovely moon, but lots of challenges, right? It was very clear throughout all the All 12 Signs series and the collective reading that because we're getting to a certain point, we're able to face some deeper challenges that aren't going to sidestep us, aren't going to rock the boat in a way that then throws us into the ocean. These are challenges that if we put in the work now, we are going to save ourselves so much time in the future. And that there's a real capacity at the moment, because it's mutable, so much mutable energy. And then you add our instincts on top of that, of our capacity to adapt and change beyond old paradigms. But there's lots of challenges coming up. One of the key threads that wanted to be said was trust the process. And this is because the two rulers of the chart, right? So Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's over in Gemini and retrograde, ruled by Mercury over in Sagittarius and retrograde. It's called so that you have two planets in each other's lands, in each other's realms, and this is what's called mutual reception. They're basically psychically hotlined to each other. They're facilitating each other's individual journey, as well as actions maybe happening in the Gemini area of your chart that are activating the next stage for the Sagittarius, and vice versa. So you're seeing a lot of feedback loops. But they're both retrograde. Now, retrograde's all the R words: revisiting, revising, recalibrating, re-understanding. All of that good stuff is with that going back and forth over territory 3 times is what happens with a retrograde. And this gives us the capacity to reflect on the past while moving to the future, and refine and bring depth and nuance to these areas of our lives. Right, and really find new directions and new wisdom, because we're not immediately going direct, i.e. the yang energy. I see retrogrades as yin, right? They cultivate, they bring nuance and depth and all of that. There's the observer mode with yin energy, whereas yang is just the go, fire and air. And so sometimes we miss things because we go. And with the retrogrades, it is allowing us more space for things to unfold. So, and this goes hand in hand with the blessings and the challenges, right? We're not going to have all the answers straight away. If you're feeling impatient, I want you just to breathe and trust the unfolding. So Jupiter and Mercury combined, this is a revising and a revisiting and an elevation of our perspectives, our knowing, our faith, our sense of abundance. And then with Mercury, what information do we collect? What are we drawn to? How do we perceive it? And then how do we communicate it? All the details of the plan, right? So a plan is coming together with these two being retrograde, but we do not have all the answers yet, because we're recalibrating our perspectives and how we collect information in alignment with our instincts that are moving us into a new territory. Now Mars wasn't retrograde at the time of this new moon, but is basically standing still, right? It's going to go retrograde on the 6th or 7th of December. I think it's the 6th for the Americas and the 7th for the rest of the planet. And so Mars has been highlighting two sides of the same coin, because it's going to go back and forth, right, with the retrograde, same as the Mercury and Jupiter. By highlighting where your instincts, your motivation and drive are based on old patterns, right? And so being in observer mode is really key to sort of like navigating, okay, what do I need to look at? As well as you'll find your instincts being more aligned to the new dynamic at the same time. So we're going to see a back and forth with that Mars energy. Mars is going to be in Leo or Cancer where the retrograde is, and I think it's until May. We've got it for a while. So those are some of the things that highlight the challenges that we're working through, but we've got a lot of strength and a lot of power to navigate it. Another challenge / blessing is the fact that Jupiter, the Sun and the Moon in Gemini and Sagittarius were both square Saturn over in Pisces. So we had a lot of mutable energy being activated. Saturn is all about responsibility, hard work, due diligence, integrity, commitment, and your legacy. It can bring up restrictions, limitations, impinging on your authority. If you haven't done your due diligence and you go storming ahead, Saturn can tend to sort of go, no. It is a no planet. But it's incredibly powerful, and we're building with that square. And it's formed a T-square. Unless you had things over in Virgo, which would have then activated a grand mutable cross and turned into a powerhouse of a generator of all the mutable signs, as well as feeling like you're being pulled in all different directions. Those of you with Virgo placements, get into the center of the storm, clear your mind, and then see which of those 4 signs and therefore the houses that they're in and the themes of those houses is calling to you. And then you can follow that path and then turn it into an absolute powerhouse of a generator. I'll just give an example of my own chart. So I have a lot of things in fixed signs, a lot of Leo, a lot of Scorpio, a lot of Aquarius. And so whenever there are, which forms a T-square. So whenever there are transits in Taurus, I get so much stuff done, as well as feeling quite overwhelmed. And I know about it, I'm very able to sort of get out of the overwhelm and realize, no, wait, this is the time for me to really get everything done, because you've got so much energy and so much power coming that's forming like a really powerful cross that's like acting as a generator going round and round and round. So you have a lot of energy to get accessing it. You need to sort of settle yourself. Anyway, right, non-Virgo placement people. We have what's called a T-square, where we have the opposition between Jupiter and the Sun and the Moon, and they form 2 squares of 90 degrees to Saturn over in Pisces. The release point of the T-square is the bottom of the T, so Saturn. So there is this sense of Saturn knocks down foundations that don't serve you, and so these are challenges that are coming up, and being aware, okay, this isn't the end of the world, this isn't going to completely destroy me, this is serving me. And the more you step into that frequency, and more you step into, how can I step up to myself, how can I step up to my experience, and therefore with everything around you, because the more that you embody that from a place of integrity and commitment, it has a knock-on effect with the relationship dynamics, with the people around you, with your situations, when you're standing in your power. But it is one of the reasons why there's lots of challenges going on with this moon. It is pretty wild. Final thing, there's loads of other cool stuff going on, but it's all in the collective reading. I'm trying to keep this intro pretty short. The Moon and Venus were what's called out of bounds. So most of the time, planets and celestial bodies are in. So there's the arc of the sun, right? And most of the time, planets and celestial bodies are between the sun and the earth. It's very rare when they're out of bounds, and I think it's when it's just Sagittarius, Gemini, Cancer, and Capricorn when they can be out of bounds. And so when they're out of bounds, they're above the arc of the sun. And so they're here and they're not connected to the earth in the same way. They're more connected to the rest of the universe. And so this is when we get very radical, non-conventional, non-conforming, arguably more progressive ideas coming through because they're not bound by the density of earth. So our moon, our intuition, our emotional body, whether our needs are being met or not, how do we give and receive nourishment? And Venus, how do we connect? How do we create? How do we feel love and harmony, right? And connection? All of those are out of bounds. So we're really breaking out of certain structures around our needs and the way that we love, in a way that may have sort of diminished the way that we roam through the world, may have curtailed certain pathways off from us because we've been fixated on certain love mechanisms, or fixated on the fact that, oh, the path that we're walking may not be seen by everybody or seen in the way that would nourish us, and that may diminish our emotional response to how we're walking through the world and our sense of love of being on this planet. So this out of bounds energy is helping us break through that frequency. Right, let's get in to the oracle cards. Was that everything? Oh yeah, the Mercury retrograde energy. Mercury at the time of this moon was trine Chiron. Lots of healthy, difficult conversations, right? Master healer, master teacher, wounded healer, right? So this is when we learn wisdom from the wound, and we are able to communicate that and teach that through our frequency, but it is highlighting core archetypal wounds. And with that Mercury retrograde, it is about recalibrating our perspective around the wound into wisdom, as well as having healthy conversations with yourself, with source, with the world around you, that may bring up wounds in order to be healed. Ishalini moto shatana. And it's in Aries, right? So that's the I am of it all, right? The go out by yourself, do your thing, not really listen to anybody else, right? That confidence to do that. That's one side of Aries. And it's operating with the collective Sagittarius. And so again, those blockages around the wounds of Aries, right? Of being free, roaming your own path from your understanding. That Sagittarius energy is helping facilitate any of the collective wounds that have blocked that frequency. And getting it in alignment with where we're headed collectively. Okay, first card that I felt called to read. So this is from the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, and we have Hiref. It says longing for home, homesick for the stars. It's an interesting card to come up, and I feel like it's what we're navigating is certainly some of the challenges with that Sagittarius energy that loves to roam, loves to travel, that there's been a certain limitation on the way that we travel, on the way that we feel connected to our inner home internally, that blocks our capacity to move in ways that were hindered to us, that we're now reconnecting to. Hiref is a Welsh word that's difficult to translate, but it refers to a certain longing or homesickness, a yearning for a home or a place to which we cannot return. This unexplainable, unshakable longing for home is common in starseeds and old souls. Perhaps you've had it since birth. For some, it's a distant memory of a planet, galaxy or star system in the universe that their soul remembers and yearns to return to. This has reminded me of someone messaged me on the day of the Mercury retrograde, which is very tied into this current lunation cycle. It's going to go direct 12 hours, I apologize, had a 2 in it, 12 hours after the the Gemini full moon. That on the day of the Mercury retrograde, I had an Aquarius rising reach out to me, and they'd sent a picture of some stars and said, I've been looking at this one all night, I think I'm from here. And there was and it's such a Sagittarius energy of like, that the desire to expand, the desire to explore, but coming from a dense frequency of like, is this possible? Where is my home? How do I navigate those energies of feeling a little lost and feeling a little abandoned, and being that in exile, being banished, and how it can really diminish how we roam in this incarnation, right? And letting go of some of those wounds, I think, is really powerful, because it's fundamentally limiting our experience that we're currently in, as well as the more that we open up to those possibilities, which I'm sure you're all aware of being from different places in different timelines and past, present, future, all of that, that the more that we know about that, the whole point is to get us back to the magic within ourselves that we then bring into this moment, rather than wishing we were there again. I mean, obviously that's a joy, but it just brings a sadness and a grief. A place they may have experienced more than earth. For others, it's a longing for the unity of source, a remembering of interconnected oneness. This yearning can lead some starseeds to travel, searching all corners of the planet to find a physical place that feels more like home. For others, it can manifest as a need to find home in people, community, and relationships, a journey to find somewhere they truly belong. And that Sagittarius energy really has the capacity, wherever they are, to kind of feel good and feel like they have the home within them, with that power of that mutable fire, of going any which way, all the side quests and the joy of that, right? That openness and the ease of spirit of the Jupiterian energy. Before I started this transit, I was down in Bristol, hanging out with a particular crew down there, and then most of them are Sagittariuses, and we were raving, and I'd forgotten like how vibrant and active that fire energy is. Oh, I forgot to mention, or did I say at the beginning? I'm using a deck that I was given at my birthday, and I'm a Sagittarius rising this year from my solar return. It's the Brittany deck, and Brittany's a Sagittarius, and there are lots of I think I said this already at the beginning, I do apologize. There's lots of like very renowned female singers that are Sagittarius, and you think of how, with that vocation, you're traveling a lot, you're moving around a lot, you're having to be very energetic and very active, and so I'm really here for that energy coming through. This yearning can lead some starseeds. Oh wait, I read that. If you resonate with a yearning for home but don't really know where home is, you're being invited to remember that your soul chose to be on earth. See, I've never had this card before, so that's interesting that came up. You're being called to fully commit to embodying your life. You're being reassured that you didn't come here alone, and that your soul consciously decided to experience what it's like to be a soul in a human body on this planet at this time. You're being called to anchor all of your presence, your personality, your soul, and your spirit in the here and now, to fully commit to the living this life right now, to commit to putting 2 feet completely in. Love, 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 love that. Isha lima doenia. Dishanimo dienima dienima. Dishanimo tofiala. Isha nama tinima dialama. I'm going to read this one in a moment, but I want it to be over here. So, next up, we have from Rainbow Brainskull. And all the decks, by the way, are in the description box, in case any of them take your fancy. Still not failing enough. Your behavior may be too rigid. Get wild and go make something explode for science. Now this is pure Sag. That wildness to, as I say, I keep wanting to say roam. It's mutable. It's not fixed. Fixed can be rigid. I say that most of my chart's fixed, right? It's this sense of this freedom to experiment and fail and try again and fail and learn and grow and explore. Here for it. Here for it. Itoela dishenia. I mean, I cannot recommend this deck enough, because it really does show up It really does show up and gets to the point very quickly. Okay. Next up, we have the empty whale. Well. Oh, that might be a thing. Whale song, community, the frequency we put out to connect to others. Because there's definitely something about this transit, about the awareness of the soul family. For some of us, it's about reconnecting in the 3D plane with it, as well as on the multidimensional sphere. That we may have felt this transit just generally feels two-pronged. One, that the inherent loneliness our soul may have is being diminished, right? Whether you can connect to other soul family in this cycle or not. But there's also this energy around that is allowing our frequency to reach out through, right, at the moment, and I'm so angry about it, excuse me, a lot of whales are really struggling because of all the sonar that's going on in the ocean, all the digging deep in within there, all that stuff is throwing off their radar. Itala dia tovere maya janima. Itinima otoela dianimo ela dishinia toela dianimo ela dishinia. There's dolphins on here. Ishaliati animo toela etinimo ot. Yala ma uye nima ishani moto na that this transit, they were doing stuff around the third eye, is helping bring that back into alignment. The outside world, right, that's stopping us from roaming in our true authentic way through conditioning, through things we've learned from people around us, all of it. And our soul's intentionally stopping it because it's part of this soul evolution, right? That the frequency of this moon is allowing more resonance and connectivity. And this moon lunation cycle is the setup that's prepping us for the nodal shift into Pisces and Virgo. Which is all about bringing the magic practically into the 3D. Itoela dishania dofala dalima doshanimotoela ena. So for the shaman's dream, empty well, time to replenish. Nothing here, time to replenish, diminishing yourself for another. The empty well reveals that there is nothing for you here. The well is dry and the desert is encroaching on your once fertile garden. It is time to face this harsh reality and move on. Give gratitude and thanks for the abundance you have experienced, and let spirit guide you to your next destination. This might mean saying goodbye to someone or something, or insisting on changing the rules of the game. Stop diminishing yourself for the sake of another. Making yourself small will not produce the results you want. There is a lack of reciprocity, of give and take. The empty well tells you that it's time to reclaim what is yours and return what does not belong to you. The shadow cast in your direction are not of your making. You do not need to react or respond to them. They are not real. Simply shine your light upon them and see how it dispels them. These shadows are projections that you are confusing for reality. You may have been offered a shovel to help you dig yourself out of an uncomfortable situation, a bucket to drink from the well, but you cannot dig yourself out of this hole. And remember that there is no water to be found in that well. Receive the empty well as a gift. Do not exert your energy and waste your resources by repairing the walls or mending the rope. Follow the watercourse way, the aquifers that run deep in the earth, and you will be led to a new spring oasis. You can find these underground streams, these rich natural resources, in the subterranean depths of your own heart. This is beautiful. One is summing up the core energy of how we roam and it being diminished. We've been diminishing ourselves for the external. And we've got this fantastic cycle to help us work through that. The subterranean waters is Saturn over in Pisces, which is linked into the ocean, and Saturn is heavy, it's made of lead, and so it is kind of at the bottom of the ocean here, creating a new foundation in that collective emotional body. And Leo rules the heart, and that's where Mars is. Itoe, so I love that that's summed it up. And also just letting you know that we're moving from something that may have felt very heavy, may have felt like you've just been hitting your head against the wall, right? In terms of that empty well of you're trying, and doing the same thing, and it's just not that there is no solution to mend. It is simply about going down the new path that is maybe a little bit scary if it's in the dark, right? And you don't know all the answers, but really, and that's all the retrogrades. That really is, oh God, that was beautiful. That's so the energy. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Right, okay, so I want to read the healer now. And Yishani Moyela, Dieni Moyela. Yishani. Trying to remember the last time we had this card. Definitely had it. This one we haven't on this channel. Oh, it might come to me, might not. Yishiniala. The light worker, the gifted, the old soul. Though some claim the work of the healer as a gift and name it as their dharma, the force of this archetype is within everyone. Oh, by the way, this is from the Kim Krans Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return to and reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. Oh, those remember, return and reclaim, and that's the retrograde. That is Jupiter and Mercury working together, creating new synapses to get us in alignment with that truth and of our faith. Oh, within us, that we've roamed away from, and now we're being reorientated back to the past. In Sanskrit, the word Aveda means, oh wait, no, is that Aveda? Aveda means forgetting, and it is said that this is the source of all suffering and disease. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial, to reveal the radiance that already exists. The healer approaches this in multiple ways, from multiple angles, knowing this cycle of healing is not linear. It is a multi-layered and circuitous process, always leading back to its own origin, much like the Uberos. Dulfiania, when light, self-contained, grateful, awake. I like that self-contained of you go your own path. You go your own path. Be grateful for your existence, for the world around you, for the experiences you have, and be awake to that experience. Itoela dishani moyela. Dishani moyela dienima. Dishani moyela diani moyela dishania. Woo! That's a lovely balm. That's a lovely balm that allows us to walk in those subterranean pathways to the new resource, to try again, and with a smile on our face, and to realize that we are here, we are now, and it is not for the externalization of any of that energy that will help us, right? We're not here to ascend, we are here to create. Itoela dishini, and try our best to evolve in the process. Iana dufana dishini ele moyana e ene moyana achinia. So, next up, which we have never had on this channel in the 2 years that I've been doing this, the stone, the eternal, the anchor, the rock. As an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of permanence, concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us, as it changes ever so slowly over countless human lifespans. A single stone may see thousands of generations come and go. Therefore, it contains an ancient and eternal presence. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side, so no matter how far we roam, I love this, we can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness, quiet, and peace. When this card appears, it's likely the stone is a remedy for what ails us. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. As I was reading that, I was reminded of Venus, who's in Capricorn, right? I've definitely been buying more crystals while Venus has been in Capricorn, right? That sense of reconnecting back to the longevity of the planet, right? The bigger cycles, the collective earth sign. And so there's a real, there's such a resonance. If you've not experienced being near a mountain, and you can find a way to do that in this lifetime, I do recommend it. It slows you the F down. I feel most aligned when I've spent a lot of time around a mountain. I feel more in my body, I feel more myself, I feel more in my own power. And it is a glorious thing. So maybe get a picture of a mountain and have it on your altar with that freedom to roam. Oh, I love that power is rooted within us with that Sagittarius passion and wildness. Ishali diala, diani moyala inima, ishane moicha chini moichana, ituenia. Next up, from What We've Forgotten. And this is from Amy Miranda. Itoenia, we have nature, the heart of the world. Grandmother Ayangat, a spiritual leader of the Mongolian Union of Ancestral Traditions, offers this wisdom. We have neglected our ancestral knowledge and dishonored the law of nature. Let's respect each other and revive indigenous knowledge on how we live in harmony. With nature. Think about what it means to be separated from nature, to be separated from one another. In ancient civilizations, there was the idea of a cosmology that viewed the universe as one unified organism. Human beings were only one aspect of the overall function of nature. We all lived within the system. It was us, we were it. This was the time when humans knew that Venus was sentient, that nature was synonymous with our lives. This week, think about what you might be able to do to invite nature into your life. What might you be able to do to bring this intention into nature? Nature loves reciprocity. It also loves collaboration. Consider what collaborative and reciprocal relationships exist in nature. I'll start. Without squirrels burying nuts, they eventually forget about we wouldn't have as many trees, and without plants supplying squirrels with nuts and seeds, trees wouldn't get the same kind of wild distribution. It works in connection by design. How might you be able to reconnect with nature? What ritual, service, or offering might you be able to do to have more connection with the nature happening in your life? I really like that, especially as the Capricorn new moon is going to be the next new moon. So we're kind of setting up towards that of, it's really tying in the galactic earth energy together. That is Venus out of bounds. She was conjunct Ceres, which I talk about in the collective reading, who is an asteroid linked into the harvest, linked into abundance, into this sense of nurturing and nutrition and nourishment, right? But you need to do all the work to get that harvest. And you've got to work together with the land, with your environment, with other people, and ground yourself and connect and harmonize. So we've got that Venusian energy with Ceres, who's helping you get back to the truth of your nature. Right? Capricorn is a slow energy. It's about the longer term build. Austin Coppock, great astrologer, when I first got into astrology, said about Capricorn is the energy that has the intention to build the church. Now, traditionally, churches took hundreds of years, so it wouldn't be in the lifetime that you'd see it happen. You wouldn't need that validation. It's that sense of roaming on your own path. It's taking you into the long-term frequency. It's not about not having fun, but it's that alignment with the future, with the recalibration to the wisdom from the past and the elevation of your present moment. I just paused for a second because I'm about to read this card, and this is from the Lemurian Starchild Oracle, and for each card there's like 4 different pages, so I was going to skim read it. But I just read half of one page and I was like, oh my god, this is just like everything is bing, 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 bing. Resolution, and it says old timelines collapsing, insights, higher self-embodiment, expression. Collapse of old timelines into pure expression in this life. New insights, higher self-embodiment, spirit coming more fully into matter, soul awareness dissolving into higher self-awareness and embodiment. I am wrapped in love, in heaven, on earth. Dear one, you have drawn this card to reassure you about the pushing the veils aside. It is time to end this crazy game that you've been playing, this game of fitting in and surviving. You are taken care of in all ways. What you see with your eyes is not always a complete truth. It would be a more complete truth if you would see all the angels and archangels that are guiding you. It would be more complete if the love and care of your cosmic family would be visible to you. It would be complete when you see that your earthly existence is only a wave within the ocean of love and bliss. Upon this clear sight, this love and care, everything is instantly resolved. External circumstances lose their power over you. They don't have the same significance because they don't define you. Let everything be resolved now beyond the opinions of the mind. As the creator of your life, you can let it be so. This is your infinite power. When there is no second thought, there is no problem. And that is going to the instinct. Within the veils, so much is hidden from you. Within this illusion, your mind creates a reality that is shared in the collective consciousness of humanity. But now you are putting an end to this. Choose to see the true reality that is your birthright. This is the real reality where you are always embraced in unconditional love. This is the reality that the earth was created to support by the Syrian embassies. They are encouraging you to see beyond the illusion. They are guiding you to your true nature. That's so funny, we're on the nature card. There is nothing that you need to understand or define to be welcomed into truth and love. You don't need a philosophy. You don't need to be in a state of consciousness or realization. The doors of heaven on earth are open to anyone. There are no conditions. Close your eyes now and see yourself walk through these doors of bliss, the doors of heaven on earth. See how your whole body illuminates and realize that this is not a fantasy. It is your divine birthright. The affirmation for this card. The doors of heaven are open to me and everything is instantly resolved. I let it be so. Right, I'm going to cut that transmission short because I've got so many more cards to read. And we're at 43 minutes. That was cool. Like the vibe of that. Felt like they were bringing that in for us. I think there's going to be a bit more transmission comes through later on. But we're going to keep on the trail. Right, we've done all of those. So powerful. Oh, just really feeling very, very nourished by what's coming through. Very grounded, but there's like a building of energy. There's a building of, it's not restlessness. It's just, it's just the desire to be. This card has been covered the whole time, and my memory tends to dump, quite quickly. And so the fact that I'd been called to say trust the process in all the readings, and then here we've got trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. So often those who feel like they're here for a reason sense that time is running out, that they spend their life worrying and that they might miss their moment. But the only way to miss your life or your moment is to spend your time worrying about missing it. It's never too late to answer a calling, and you're never too old. The tides of your life are magnificently orchestrated to come in and out of perfect unison. Don't race ahead and ride the wave that was never meant for you. You'll waste your precious time and energy when instead you could be enjoying your life. Everything has a season, and you're being called to trust the one you're in. Don't let impatience, comparison, competition, or paranoia disturb the seeds. It seems that everyone has anxiety these days, constantly scanning for something they might have missed or a possible threat. Keep our mind and body pointed in the same direction as our soul is near impossible at such reactive speeds. Right now you're being reminded to take a breath and trust the wave you came in on, to trust the season you're in. Time isn't running out. There's plenty of time. There's no rush, and it's never too late. Love that with everything, with the astrology, just doubling down on the reality of the retrograde, of that inner confidence and faith with Sagittarius, right? That Jupiterian energy of trusting the timing, right? Of not second guessing yourself, of really being able to roam freely, and trust in your instincts and where they're taking you without thinking, shoulda, woulda, coulda, have I missed this, have I done that? Everything is just summed up. That our hamster wheel brain is constantly trying to pull us back into that space of cortisol. Also, completely forgot that this card says Sacred Mountain. And there we go, tapping into the stone, tapping into Venus and Ceres in Capricorn, which is the mountain god. So, Vision Quest, clarity and truth. Shambhala, deep healing, supporting Earth's ascension, healing the unconscious. Great for a new moon. I am welcome onto the healing slopes of the sacred mountain. I am invited also to remember Shambhala, my crystalline home. The sacred mountain tells of a journey of vision and purpose. Energy vortices and resonant caverns are calling you, for they are the space that brings clarity to mind, even when it's overthinking its linear process. The sacred mountain is a sanctuary of deep peace, which cannot be affected by emotional turmoil. Lemurians know of the power of the mountain and see it as a place of sacred ceremony. It's a place of great harmony, insight, and energy healing, and also a gathering place to initiate new projects and to celebrate new relationships. Can you feel the renewed sense of purpose, the higher vision that is received in your pineal gland? They were doing third eye stuff earlier. It activates activating that third eye to more confidently guide you. You might not be consciously aware of how things are going to unfold or where you're headed, but that third eye is like whoom, 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 whoom. It activates the wisdom that is already in your heart. It gives attention, so give it attention and to let it emerge. Connect to the sacred mountain to integrate this vision of wisdom in your conscious awareness. Are any worries in your heart? Any residues of the old paradigm? By going on a vision quest, you will leave them behind, because the mountain will take them from you. New energies are coming your way. Follow the trail of these energies, for they lead you to the sacred mountain. The air is thin on the sacred mountain and free of thought forms that can distract you. Therefore, this journey helps you to connect to your heart and to face your demons. The sacred mountain is happy to take your demons from you and to give you visions of high vibrational truth in return. Such is the generosity of this mountain being. Are you a warrior? Do you want to conquer the mountain? For you, there are times when you need to surrender to the universe so that nature can do its work. Nothing is asked from you in this process except to open your hands to let go and receive. Release your previous identities, for you are destined to go beyond them on the sacred mountain. Through this process, you are finding a deep heart connection within and without. Hello, Mars in Leo. Now you are in a cosmic light, manifesting a new life from your creator consciousness. Dishanima. Love it. Oh, hey, Brittany. Diani muyana. Dishini. Diana. Now, I've only used this deck once, and that was on my birthday. And they were pretty on point. I was surprised and here for it. So first up we have the Lucky Star. This is a story of a girl named Lucky. In the music video from 2000, Brittany plays both the narrator and a fabulous movie star named Lucky, who cries in her lonely heart when she's not winning awards and walking red carpets. Well, something that the song predicted much of Brittany's relationship with fame is a timeless parable about how things are not always what they seem. The Lucky Star is a reminder to give yourself and others grace, because even the most glamorous and successful among us could be struggling behind the scenes. Oh, I love that. That's such a lovely bit of wisdom. Right, Sagittarius can be very confident, and I often think, oh, I'm always talking about the shadow side. I'm always talking about the trauma responses and the limiting beliefs. And I'm like, is that isolating a certain frequency that isn't engaging in that? And I'm like, no, everyone I know, either personally or remotely, who's doing really well, there's always something going on. There's always some other pain that they're working through. And it's unfair to project this expectation on those who roam with a smile on their face to be exactly what they're showing themselves to be, right? And so giving those on who are also on their path their grace, as well as yourself, right? That this is all of these challenges is allowing, you know, some really deep-rooted stuff to come up that we may, because we think we've got the work that we want, the life that we've got, that we then don't, that we think we don't have anything deep in the shadows. But we do. Well, not everyone. I really don't want to limit everyone as well, but it's just what I see show up. That giving yourself the grace to be able to then work through that is going to be so powerful, that you're not going to have all the answers. You don't know how it's all going to go. And to allow yourself to try and fail and try again, as well as cry if you're feeling a bit wounded. That's the Mercury Chiron vibe, right? And not denying that part of the experience. I just heard that we're with you, we're with your heart. You know, that Mars retrograde in the sign of Leo is going to be bringing up some wounds around the heart space that have blocked our motivation and drive. But I did just hear that your guys, the angels and the third eyes now shopping, that they are here in those moments. And I also feel, this is another prong, and everyone do what feels right for you, but chasing that fame, chasing the recognition is not the vibe. The vibe is you do you, boo, right? It really is. And if you get things because of that, great. Added bonus, fantastic. But, you know, that struggle when you're in that fame loop, or if you're in a loop where there's expectations around you, just thinking of all the singers, you know, they're putting album after album after album. There's no time to rest. There's no time to be present and enjoy where they're at. You know, when we hit a certain point in where we are, oh, this is nice. We then acclimatized to that new normal, and then we forget the journey, the mountain that we've climbed to get to that point, and we then can kind of reduce ourselves back to zero, that we haven't achieved anything. And this is a really lovely reminder to remind yourself of the journey, remind yourself of where you came from and the journey that you've gone on and who you are now. Give yourself some grace, and don't project expectations of what you should be doing and where you should be roaming into the future, because you're going to be blocking out that ease of being. Right, we've got the Union card, and this is from the Rumi's Gift Oracle by Ari Honarvar. This card has shown up it came up in the Libra new moon, which was an eclipse, and then the Aries full moon, which wasn't an eclipse, but still the North Node in the sign. So a lunation cycle ago, because then we had the Scorpio and Taurus energy. So fascinating, this has come up again. Diala tufinia, especially because this moon was trine the North Node. Ituinia. Now, Rumi was a Sufi mystic. Check out the Sufi mystics and their poetry. They drank wine, they danced, they wrote poems about love and their beloved of God. They broke convention. Itoela dishenia. Come, come, my beloved. You have unveiled 1,000 faces of love, all of them residing here in my heart. You are my sun and also my shadow. You are the silence and the words of this poem. Once I thought I lost you. Now I see the world through your eyes. Come, come, my beloved. You are my speech. Tell me my secrets. What I'm getting, can't remember what card it was. I think it was, there was something about, in resolution card, of aligning to your higher self, right? That reconnection to yourself, to in your instinctive connection, that's allowing you to see that energy and also your relationship with God or whatever reflected to you in every way you roam, right? The sun and the shadow, the silence and the chatter. That love is everywhere you are roaming, in every situation, and it's the union of the polarities that we're working with, right? Coming to peace with the chaos and the order, that is strengthening our capacity to engage in parts of the universe that go beyond that. Without denying the power of the tools that they are. Right, so we're getting over to this bit. Okay, so we have from the Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix. Where is that book? Just as I was talking about the bigger picture. The Divine Matrix, the intricate complexity of life. Today is Wednesday, by the way. Mercury's day, Mercury's retrograde. So I'm surprised I've done as well as I've done. You might have been thinking and acting like you were the only one in the dream creating your life. The galactic mushroom arrives as a playful yet potent reminder that you need to get with your higher power. The universal laws are not for your benefit only. The law of attraction does not just exist to serve up your desired outcome. The matrix of consciousness, called Source or God, Spirit, and many other names, is intricately woven into life. There is so much complexity that the human mind cannot comprehend all the moving parts. It's impossible to see beyond what you already know, just as the head of a mushroom is clearly visible above the soil, but not the living biome below. The thread-like mycelium of fungi form vast, intricate networks underground, connecting different life forms with one another in a kind of internet of the plant kingdom. Imagine the divine matrix serving the same way, connecting the individual consciousness with that of the divine. The galactic mushroom reminds you that your dreams and desires are heard. This is a call for faith and trust. Whatever intention you hold consistently with hope and faith first manifests in the unseen realms. Whether or not you can see it working on your behalf, eventually you see the evidence play out in the serendipitous events that work in your favor, seemingly outside the law of cause and effect. Your most beautiful results are being birthed right now, not just for you, but for your highest good of all. Love it. Again, trust the process. Understand the hyperconnectivity of the universe. And we are tiny little cogs. Tiny, teeny, tiny little cogs. And that is a beautiful thing. And we're not alone. And we're here to have fun and explore and roam and create and be curious and be open to give and receive. And all of the other things as well. Every little thing. The ringleader. What babe. Britney stepped triumphantly back into her spotlight in 2008 with the release of her 6th album, Circus, playing the role of ringmaster and confidently running the show. The circus era was all about reclaiming her rightful place as the Princess of Pop. Its massive success, including a global world tour, is an important lesson in finding your strength after a setback. All eyes on you. Remember, you're the ringleader. You call the shots, right? Step into your trust. Do you follow your path, know your power? Iti shala iumaitana ituet at itot. Dialama itufania dishaneanama. Itania duishanima dilama. Right, the comeback queen. That sense of feeling lonely, of feeling disconnected, of not being able to roam down your own path, and then giving yourself some pause to come back refreshed and get up and go. Ila imuitana otufinima dishania dianimoto fiala. Seraphine's Gateway. Hello, angelic frequency. It was 1 hour and 11 seconds as I saw that. Ishalima diania. Voice activation, angelic attunement, divine support. Great for Mercury retrograde, how we communicate, and Jupiter retrograde, our bigger picture. The Seraphim are the highest form angelic beings who are said to radiate from the heart of Source. They have been described in many different ways through the ages, but what is common is the idea that a brilliant light emanates from them. The word seraphim means burning ones, for in ancient times light was associated with fire, as this was the main source of light within homes. These beings of infinite light are essentially divine love that is taking on angelic form in order to serve the universe. When they have appeared physically, they have been described as having 6 wings and are known for their heavenly voices. In fact, miraculously, planetary shifts are reported to take place when they sing. In the heavenly realms, they sing in constant praise of Creator. Other angelic presences report to them with regard to their spiritual duty. As it were, it doesn't operate in such a linear way, but this is the best way for us to understand the process. Their voices will help awaken the angelic presence you hold within so that you can support the expansion of the world. You are blessed to receive the light of the seraphim. Know that these beings of infinite light are singing your name in the heavens to unlock the power of your own voice. Angelic support surrounds you at this time. Know that you are safe, for you are being held by the presence of love. The seraphim are witnessing the glory of your being and activating your angelic qualities. You care deeply about the welfare of the planet and all her beings. In fact, you are hoping to make a great difference in the world. And the reason for this is that you are carrying angelic light. Let it shine on the world around you. Well, that's a lovely, beautiful, beautiful support network that we have around us right now to allow us to feel and be this confident ringleader. Oh, I'm loving this reading a lot. Final card from the Kim Krans deck, we have Gnosis. Innermost knowing, mystic truths. True knowledge is not found in facts and figures, in scholarly books and on library shelves. Rather, Gnosis points to the deep and timeless archetypal wisdom that rides from the felt experience of having touched the unknown with every one of the senses. Those who are drawn to Gnosis find themselves in healing, or perhaps find themselves in esoteric studies likely involving mysticism, alchemy, healing, or perhaps science. Knowing is their calling, not knowing is their job description. No matter how far the alchemist takes their studies, they come to the ultimate conclusion that facts slip towards mystery, and soon the mystery results in facts. This card signifies a knowing that is life-changing. Once you experience it, you are forever changed and become a guardian of Gnosis. The eternal mystery is calling you. Study your passion in the deepest way available to you. Dia Tufala. I mean, very Jupiterian, very Sagittarius, right? The yang energy, the preacher of the chart. And also it's kind of doubling down on one of the first cards that we got, which is still not failing enough. right? We don't have the answers. When we get close to a truth that feels right for us, it's very often that we then go through another cycle of that truth unraveling a little bit more and allowing more space for more energy to come in, right? Have an open mind, have an open perspective. Allow yourself to be mutable and shift and change. Allow yourself to know that you know nothing, and in your journey you may know some things that lead to knowing nothing all over again. And that, make peace with that. Right, so often our culture cultivates this sense of you got to be right, you got to be first, you got to be all this, that, you got to be in there's a competition and only one person can be right, and that feel good energy of being right. Helping release that bound on us will be so healthy, because that mutability of Jupiter is really asking us to be very open to change and open to different ideas, open to different perspectives, and not let other people's ideas diminish how we think and feel, while still being open to change if something you connect with resonates. You never get there and you never stay here. Again, another big Sagittarius energy. You are never in the past or in the future. Your awareness perpetually resides in the now. Stop yearning and appreciating stop yearning and appreciate the infinite magic of the eternal presence, right? This is the enjoy the ride. Choose your own adventure and enjoy the ride. Next up, we have from the Four Agreements Oracle, a very mercurial book, very mercurial deck, written by a Virgo sun. I recommend this book for anyone. It's short, it's cheap. You follow these four agreements, your life will change. This was also given to me by a Gemini rising, so I always get it out when Mercury's doing its thing. Don't take anything personally. Love and respect yourself. You are never responsible for the actions of others, but you are responsible for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. You may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Right? So this can be the old version of you walking away from you, right? And you are in this new space with your new self, where you are now capable of loving and respecting your journey, respecting your heart. I'm loving the heart coming in with Mars in Leo. And that when you go on your journey, let people be how they are. You focus on your frequency. And also, this isn't about holding on to the old wounds and the old pain and the old limitations, right? And really allowing a stronger understanding of the complexity, right, of the universe. And we don't have the answers, right? So some things that somebody's done or an action that's happened is predominantly facilitating something in the future that serves you at a greater level. And that can really help you let go of any sort of like personal wound around things. Don't make assumptions. Be aware of unconscious assumptions. Assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have the agreements to communicate this way. We've agreed that it's not safe to ask questions. We've agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel, right? So one, don't take anything personally and don't make assumptions, right? This is you also going into observer mode with because this is the moon, the unconscious, observer mode of what your unconscious assumptions are. This is a great cycle to witness that and then do the work with it and realize, oh, this isn't even me anymore. What's going on? And again, making assumptions of where you're headed. Be present, choose your own adventure, enjoy the ride. The Blue Temple, Azure Vault. Celestial realm, the imagination, expansiveness. Welcome to the Blue Temple, the home of the alchemical imagination. You have entered a space of new depths, new possibilities. The inner eye. God, I really do start to drift with this hand. The inner eye opens and you become willing to see in a new way. To understand this card, one must study blue itself. It is the celestial colour of the sky, the ocean, and the peacock's tail. Though potent, blue slips away. Through this colour, our imagination threads together experiences both grim and glorious. Think of blue films and blue ribbons, the halls of heaven and the harrows of melancholy. We are taken into the depths of mood, of tone, of the rhythm of the blues. This is very interesting with the square to Saturn in the ocean, right? The eternal mystery of blue will only deepen as we study it, and this is precisely the point. Leave the cerebral behind, cloak yourself in the sapphire robe, and sit quietly in the vault of mysteries. Ishali diala, di sheli moela moto fiela, di sheli moela di anima. Ishania, celestial realm, the imagination, expansiveness. So we're being taken to a deeper, more magical reality in a nutshell. But it is saying that there is this sense of awareness of the joy and the sorrow, right? That Pisces energy of the two fish pulling away from each other, the duality, the polarity, and the empathy of all the paths lead all rivers lead to the same ocean, all paths lead to the same mountain. And it helps us get out of conflict mode and allows more space for that imagination, for the fluid, open nature of Source to come in. Just feeling called back to Saturn, Gemini, Sagittarius, and the Ace of Cups. So know thyself, fall in love with life, bringing the angelic frequency down on earth and resonating from a place of peace, abundance, and overflow of love. Final card. Oh my god. Oh, not too bad with the time. I thought it would be an hour and a half. But here we are, nearly 11. 1:11. Ishania. No decisions, just grooving. Hello, Sag. Stop making life harder than it actually is. You don't need to tell your heart to beat, it just does. And there's a more important job than anything your chattering mind does. Let go and dance to the rhythm of it all. Well, what a card to end on. What a final note. I'm here for that. That sums up absolutely everything that's come through. Trust in your own journey, right? Allow yourself some kindness, some compassion, and really resonate to the moment and the capacity of incorporating all of the threads of the universe in your own experience.